What up, y'all? All right, so back again. Today I wanted to go over there's 8 spirits that control the narcissist and to make them become wicked by nature at some point in time when they get aligned and they continue down this road. They become aligned with these wicked spirits. Okay, so the first of the 8 spirits is going to be number 1. It's the enchantress. This is a spirit that encourages a desire for power and influence through secretive means. This is what I'd call the Jezebel spirit. The spirit number 2 is the green-eyed monster. This spirit creates envy, making people unhappy and always wanting more. This is the spirit of envy, greed, and jealousy. Okay? Number 3, this is the spirit of fog and chaos. This spirit causes confusion and uncertainty. This spirit blinds the narcissist to harm that they cause others. Okay, so this is what I'd call the spirit of confusion, and second, the spirit of fear. Okay, and if you're on right now, give me a like and a thumbs up, please, and a subscription if you haven't subscribed yet and you like the material. I got a lot of these spirits were named off from Dinesh Bashar. He did a short on this, and so I just wanted to add to it. So number 4 is the harsh judge. The harsh judge is the spirit that leads the narcissist to feel entitled and to look down on others while boasting themselves. This is what I'd consider, this is the self-righteous spirit. The spirit that makes them feel like they're also a demigod, that they're more than us, better than us, beyond us, and above us. Okay, number 5, the 5th spirit is the iron-fisted puppeteer. The iron-fisted puppeteer is a manipulative force that pushes narcissists to control and to dominate these around them. Okay, this is what I'd call the spirit of control, the controlling spirit, the spirit of Python. They talk about the Python that will wrap itself around you and crush you to control you. Number 6 is the silver-tongued serpent. The silver-tongued serpent is this spirit grants narcissists the ability to lie and deceive others with ease. Okay, this is what I call the spirit of lying, manipulation, divination, and deception. Okay, number 7 is the towering inferno. The towering inferno is it ignites arrogance. This spirit makes narcissists unaware of their flaws and constantly seeking admiration. This is what I'd call the pompous spirit of Leviathan. Okay, number 8 and the final one is the shadow stalker. The shadow stalker, this is the spirit that feeds on the fear and rejection, drives the narcissist to uphold their false self. This is what I'd call the spirit of abandonment, the cowardice spirit, and the spirit of fear as well. So anyway, I wanted to go over a couple of things. Okay, this is a little bit of theory, but I kind of wanted to throw it at you because I feel like that I have something here, you know, it's been kind of weighing on me. But when the empath meets the narcissist, and so this is the unconscious, unawoke empath, and some of this is like unconscious. So it's not that you personally would feel this way, but if you reflect back, it was kind of underneath a little, okay, subliminally, and you didn't pay any attention until you just went back and reassessed. But unconsciously, our spirit can tell that this narcissist or individual needs help, a lot of help, and it's because they're empty, they're hollow, they're soulless, and they have no love, or, you know, you get that feeling, and you can feel it because we can feel people like this in a heavy way. Okay, so part of that is kind of what leads to us being seduced and us being knocked off like our normal, you know, to where it's kind of like you know, we're wobbling a little because, like, wow, man, like, you're kind of sidetracked. There you go. So they're acting you know, they're acting like they're covering that up, but you get a glimpse of that in all this. They're covering it up because their energy is the energy of their past supply. So they projected their energy onto the past supply, the past supply, primary supplier or whatever. They accepted that. They accepted the projection, and they took their good soul energy or whatever, and then they came to you, and that the energy that they're wearing on that mask is from their last partner. And so that's how they're covering up that soullessness to some degree, you know, because it's like you're seeing the energy of the last partner. You're not seeing like the narcissist for who they truly are. And that's why like this fuel is really important to them, the supply fuel, and that's why they need it every day, because they have to fuel the mask every day. And it's not just like I'm putting on a mask. It's like they're wearing an aura. They're wearing traits. They're wearing fuel from somebody else. That's why you can tell that there's something spiritual going on, because it's not their energy. And if you're empathic and heavily empathic, you're going to figure out that there's some witchcraft going on, man, because it's like it's somebody else's energy and they're wearing it, and that's not right. It's not supposed to be like that. And you can tell. Okay, I'm sorry, get passionate. Okay, and so, because they wore mine anyway, and I've worn theirs. So acting that first part is the seduction. That's when Jezebel's taken over. And this fuel is, in my opinion, this is what happens is they're taking that fuel and they're out there working their ass off to get that fuel, but they're really using it to sacrifice it to these dark entities that they have aligned themselves with. At some point, they align themselves with, you know how it's like when it's kind of like in the Old Testament, you know, they had to give God sacrifices for their sins. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like to be in covenant with God, which was a good thing. But before Christ came, they had to do sacrifices. They had to go out there. They had to get their best, livestock, and they had to put them to death, man, and get them prepared, and then they had they had to put them on an altar to God. And there was a whole big ceremony they had to do because they wanted to be aligned with God. They want to be in covenant with God. They wanted their sins forgiven. Well, something similar is going on with the narcissists and these entities. They always copy God. I mean, we all have to copy God because he's the creator. Okay, we are nothing or know nothing, and we're just nothing. We're not even here without God. And so we all copy God. So these devils and dark entities, they are doing the same thing because it's powerful. So what they're doing is they're getting the narcissists that's aligned themselves with them, whether maybe they wanted to in the beginning, or but they did in the beginning, okay? But now what happens with evil is evil eventually takes over and becomes a dictator. We see this in the earth today, and this is exactly how the devils and demons are going to work. That's why we're seeing it in the earth today, because it's just a copy of what evil looks like when it's in the spirit realm. So a dictator, and how they work and how harsh they are and how manipulative they are, that's how those devils are going to work with the covenant with the narcissist. So they come in all nice, right? They're going to be a savior. Okay, and then they take over. They took over the whole narcissist being, their whole entity. Now the narcissist is working for them. And so that wasn't probably the original covenant, they thought. So now the narcissists run around and they're getting supply energy to feed these devils. But see, now they've gone so far that, you know, they can't even get their life back. They're infested. They're an infestation. And so they have to get energy. It's the sacrifice. So it's like if they got to project, they got to get the old supply to accept the projection. And when the old supply accepts the projection, they're kind of accepting a covenant themselves. I'll take it. I accept it. Whether you know it or not, you're doing it. There's something to say about that. And there's something to say about when you're dealing with evildoers and you're dating them, you're going down a road where maybe you knew the Lord and you were covered by the Lord, but the Lord's not going to cover you when you go outside that box, when he tells you not to. You don't want to go outside that covering. He can give you grace for a time, but he's not going to do it forever. And so, I mean, this could be for churchgoers and Christians, and it could be for non-Christians alike. It's going to happen the same way. They're just going to become uncovered, and you're gonna out from God and His blessings, because you're walking into. So you could either walk into it and agree on it, or you can just be seduced into it and do it through the seduction. That's up to you, but it's still the same thing. So they take that projected energy, they take it, and then they sacrifice it to the entities inside them. And then what do those entities do? They do, you met the narcissist, right? But you haven't gone out yet. So what happens is you met the narcissist and you haven't gone out yet. So they're going to do research on you. And then all those wicked devils inside them, you're going to go out with them on a first date, maybe in a couple weeks. But then they're going to know exactly how to treat you, how to take care of you, how to put that mask on just right. Those devils inside them, because they already did the sacrifice. They did their part. Now the devil's going to take over. I think a lot of times when you meet the narcissist, you're really meeting Jezebel, whether it's a man or a woman. And then the other entities take over as things progress. They switch up. But this is what happens. They get legal right when you go into, when you're going to have sex with somebody, or you're going to, become their partner, and you're going to accept their projection. You're going into covenant with them, at least for a time. It's like the two are made one, at least for a time. So, to repent is to do an about face, right? And to walk the other way. So you're outside of God's covenant. And so these, the narcissist becomes witchcraft. They are witchcraft. When you have dark spirits inside you that embody the abyss, I mean, that is witchcraft. There's nothing closer to witchcraft than being witchcraft. And so they are the complete embodiment of witchcraft. That's why you will see that they're just like what you call the devil in the Bible. So they took that energy, they sacrificed to the entities, then the entities performed by wearing the perfect mask for you. But first they did some research. I want you to tell me in the comments, did they meet you but not go out with you right away? They took at least a few days before. There was a gap, and in that gap they did research. They always do research. It's textbook. So the research is to find out how to wear that mask perfectly. It's strategy. Tell me, you didn't just meet the narcissist right away and go right out with them. There was a gap somewhere. I bet there was like a 3-day gap at least, or a week gap, or 2-week gap. There was a gap, and that was time for them, the devils, to do research on you. That's what the narcissist does. They get online, find out what you own, where you live, where you come from, how many languages you speak, everything. So so then as you become the old supply, again, the cycle continues, and now you're the sacrifice when they project and leave you, and then they throw their energy on you. They take your energy, you accepted it. But the way to break it is if you get out early, you become the curse breaker. You wake up, you refuse it, and you're awoke, right? Now you're woke. That's what we call woke. And so you don't become this supply for them. You don't become the sacrifice or this fuel for them, and they don't take your gifts and your traits. You may, in cycle 1 and cycle 2, failed, but in cycle 3 you woke. You woke, baby. You woke. So when you woke up, you defeat that narcissist. What happens next is there's going to be a short time period, and then you're going to find more narcissists coming your way. And they're going to be stronger, more powerful, because you defeated the last one. The last one was like, if you had a grunt soldier, now you're going to have like an officer and then a general. They just keep getting harder, man. And that's because you can't defeat one and send another one, the same powerful, the same one with the same amount of power out to try to defeat their counterpart. It's not going to work. You already defeated them. That means you defeated all of them at that level. So, it's not going to work anymore. So they got to send the next one. That's why they always say they always get harder, more powerful, stronger. It's because you keep defeating them, whether it was unbeknownst to you or not. But after a specific time. And I'll say this, they want to come back. They want to get back in. They want to put you to sleep, put your light out, crush you, because you crushed or destroyed the past narcissist. And And so the thing that's interesting about this is I feel like that what I found is a lot of people that I know that have dated narcissists, they always started out with a borderline, and the borderline is the lowest one as far as dealing with wickedness. They're the probably the best of the bunch of the cluster Bs. It's interesting how I met a borderline. I know a lot of people met borderlines first. That was their first narcissist, or cluster B. It was their first cluster B individual that they started to date. And then the next one was like a lesser narcissist or a mid-range narcissist, and then it's psychopath and a sociopath. I promise you, it just seems like that's how it's worked. And if it worked for them, everything is in a cycle and they all do the same shit, man. So it makes me think that there's like some hierarchy, that you start out with the weaker ones first, and the weakest one is the borderline's got a little bit of empathy. I've been with one. And the narcissist doesn't, and you get into this, and you get into the psychopathies. There's absolutely no. In fact, they get to the point to where they get off on pain and suffering. You know, they're sadistic. They're Machiavellian. Okay, it gets worse and worse, and so you know, this is what happens, and it's basically what you're seeing is what's very fascinating to a lot of us, or at least some of us, is we're seeing the spiritual warfare in the physical form now. It's kind of like, if you believe some of these conspiracy theories, you're kind of seeing the spiritual operating in the physical form, but you can't, just like, you know, this, if the ones that have seen faces and understand the character to a point to where you know this is the spirit in the physical form. Okay, you guys, you can't really explain this to somebody. Well, this is the same goes for conspiracy, what they call conspiracy theories. They're facts, but you can't explain to someone. If you don't want to learn it yourself, I can't explain it to you. You'll never get it. And that's how that stuff works. It's like, you got to get it for yourself, or you ain't going to get it. And in this category, you really don't want it. We just ended up getting it thrown in our lap to some degree. But yeah, that's what you're doing. And you don't, I mean, it's just, that's what you're seeing. And, you know, I think that they come to us because, you know, we are heavy in truth. We're truth seekers, and they're not. We're heavy in healing, and they need it badly. We're heavy in love. We're real true lovers, and they have none. Okay. And we understand true reality. You know, we get pulled in to the fantasy by our getting hijacked, but we are in reality mainly more than most, and we understand true humanity and how people should really be. That's not how they are, but we know how they should be. Humanity should be. And so these are these things, the traits that they love about us. That's what draws them to us, because they need these. And honestly, when they accepted these entities in, I don't know how much that they wanted to, or you know, but they did. Okay, and when they did, you know, things change. Just like, you know, it starts out as you're making a deal with the devil, right? So it's like, you know, you're gonna get lied to. You know, they think that these devils are gonna be working for them. And that's where they went wrong, but it was still evil to even agree to that. Okay, but they did, and they thought it was going to be a little different, but next thing you know, they're working for these devils. They got to go run around and give them sacrifices every week, because the devil is what takes over when the fuel's on. When the fuel's off, that's what the narcissist is, to some degree, and that's why that they're collapsing, because there's nothing behind there. It's like the devil is taking the back seat because they don't have no fuel. So you're seeing the narcissist, and the narcissist just collapsing. They'll be in the hospital because they're empty. They're so empty and hollow because they have no personality. And so we are drawn to them because, you know, to some degree, they got a little bit of swagger sometimes when they're fueled up. They got a little bit of charisma once in a while. And some of the things that they do can be kind of a turn on, you know. you know, the charm, the way that they can control certain situations. But what you're probably seeing is the devil. Okay. And so, but that kind of can attract an empath, because it's like, you know, they have some qualities that you're like, yo, I mean, like, to some degree, in the right way, you know, it would be nice to have some of that. But they go about it all in the wrong way. I hope you don't take me the wrong way. But, you know, when you get outside of God's covering, or you're willing to be seduced out from under his covering, then you become like Adam and Eve, and you wake up nude. You have no armor on, okay? And you're in and amongst sin. And that's what happens. And you have no covering. And so you're getting destroyed. But the red flags are, you know, you get red flags when you meet them, but you're also getting sidetracked by the incredible amount of healing and help that they do need, that you can feel unconsciously, I think. And then also the love bombing, you know, and beauty, sex, and you know, the fuel that they put forth really can sidetrack you. But that's all for today. I hope you guys can understand that and make something of it. But give me a like, thumbs up, and a subscription. Until next time, sold you up, y'all. Peace. We out.